Well, good morning from Central Mississippi. Scott and Tina here with you from Mississippi Family Homestead, and we're going to talk about homesteading, especially a little gardening stuff.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about gardening today. We actually when we plant our garden, sometimes we use one of these Jiffy seed starting trays to plant our seeds and to start with, and so we did do that just to see if we could get some of these. We had some older seeds, and we planted some of those to see if they would actually come up. And what we'll do is we'll kind of move them to the greenhouse and maybe put a little heater in there when needed. And so that's what we did. We worked on this week, and so we really enjoy the gardening and getting out and growing stuff during the summer and in spring.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. And, we're looking forward to that spring weather. But right now, we had a couple of days ago, it was forecast that we would get some snow. And in Mississippi, that's a pretty big thing to get snow.
Yeah, it doesn't snow. It hadn't snowed here in 2 or 3 years, I think.
Did it snow last year?
No, not last year. I think it was the year before.
Where I work, we've got a location, a tower site down in Dothan, Alabama, and this is Dothan, Alabama. They rarely get any snow, and this is actually a live camera right here. And
they're pretty far south, right?
Yeah, they're pretty far south. They're close to Florida. This is what,
like
60 miles from Florida, and so it's little unusual for them to get some snow, but it looks kind of nice right now. But sorry for the dumpster out there. They're doing a little work down there, but I think they've got a little more coming through in this.
Do you think that's about an inch or
no? That's
a spattering.
It's. It may be enough to get a snowball together.
Yeah, maybe so.
But it's looks pretty down there.
It really does.
So
That's
they're
really
going to have a good snow day today.
So guess what?
What?
So I looked on our forecast a while ago, and there is a chance of snow here on Wednesday.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I hope it's not any ice.
I hope not too, but it looked like. Yeah, it's going to be cold here all week. It looks like, and I saw where Wednesday it looks like it might snow a little bit.
Really? I'll have to take a look at that. But,
yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure I saw it.
Let's look at the forecast here.
He don't believe me, but it did. It said I saw it.
I show rain. Oh, for some reason we lost that feed there. I need to reconnect to it, but yeah.
It's going to
snow. I don't know if it's going to snow or not, but I'm trying to get into the thing.
He's trying to get that back. But yeah, we rarely have snow. If we do, it's only, a couple of inches. Sometimes it's not even that. It's just like a dot of snow. So we get excited around here if we think there might be some snow. We'd love to hear where you're watching us from and let us know if you're having some snow or going to get some snow. It's just kind of exciting for us sometimes.
Yeah, it is. I don't mind the snow, but I do not like the ice.
Yes, the ice is terrible.
With our jobs or with mine, we have to get out in it, and I'm getting a little tired of that. And,
yeah.
What we're getting right now, or what they're getting in Dothan, is not. I don't think it's going to ice. I don't know.
You think it's just snow?
But it is pretty. Let's go back to that picture there. Yeah, that is live down in Dothan, Alabama. I was kind of surprised how much they got.
Yeah, they rarely get snow. I don't think it snowed there in years.
I don't remember. I'm trying to think, since I've been affiliated with them, I'm not sure
that they've ever had snow.
I think they may have, but I don't know that it's been a lot.
Yeah,
to show up on the ground.
They're more associated with hurricanes and
hurricanes
yeah,
are bad.
They're close to, like we said, close to Florida, so they get
They're right north of Panama City.
Yeah.
There was a big hurricane several years ago, and they were they were affected by that. A lot of damage there, but that the one that tore up Panama City, they're pretty well north of Panama City.
Yeah, so that's what they're really known for, not for snow. But
Yeah.
it's neat that it has snowed down there. That's really
And
neat.
also Dothan, for those of you that don't know, Dothan, Alabama is known for their peanuts. Most or a lot of the peanuts that come from the United States come from down there.
Yeah,
It's a
if
huge
you go
peanut
down
place.
there, and there's just fields and fields and fields of peanuts.
That's their big thing is the peanuts. They have a peanut festival.
Yeah.
That has some pretty big acts down there. So, but yeah, that's looking live in Dothan, Alabama right now. And, I was going to look at the forecast here to see if we're looking at getting that stuff.
Well,
I show rain.
on Wednesday night.
Yeah, because the
Look at the
low
other-
Wednesday night is 42.
Oh, well, that's not what I saw. Look at the other weather.
It depends on whose phone you look at
I know
nowadays.
it's
Have you
who's-
noticed every day there's a different...
Well, I don't know if it's the difference between the different channels. Look at the other.
I don't
What?
think I have the other...
Oh, okay.
Well, I have the weather service. Let's see what they say.
Yeah. It's pretty cold here this morning. It's 20 degree. It was 21 when I got up at 6. So when I got up at 6, I did go out there and I made sure that the chicken's water was unfroze. I have to go do that and it gets really cold because their water freezes, and I go out there and unfreeze their water.
Yeah.
It doesn't get quite that cold all the time here, so we don't put the expense into like putting a heated water thing in the chicken's pen because it's not normally 20 degrees outside at night. So that's just something I have to do. I have to go out there and make sure their water's not frozen and unfreeze it for them
Yeah.
every when it's cold like that. But it was 21 here this morning.
And we also still have that problem with the eggs. We talked a little about that last night about yesterday morning.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
the chickens not laying eggs. We're still having that problem too.
Yeah.
Talking about, we've been talking about, we need to go ahead and do it. We're going to feed them some meat.
Yeah, I'm gonna feed them some meat.
We saw
today.
some meat in the grocery store yesterday that was for pets, but wasn't sure that it would be safe for the chickens.
Yeah, I'm sure
what was in it that would...
I don't know. I mean, it probably would be safe for them, but I just figure you just boil them regular meat with no seasoning and no nothing in it and feed it to them that way. I'm sure it probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I have some chicken. I'm gonna feed them chicken. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna boil some chicken and cut it up real fine and feed it to them.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
For chickens to eat to eat chicken. I don't know that they would want to do that.
Well, they won't know. They won't know it's chicken.
Well, I know they won't know, but it's like they're on the Donner Party again. But we are, it's getting it. Even though it's a little wintry, it's, we're talking about that spring garden coming up, and, we're going to talk about what we're going to plant. We did get some seeds in.
Yeah, we planted them in one of these.
To do a video, I don't normally use these, but to do a video, we went ahead and planted some old seeds in this right here, and it's on the channel because a lot of people liked watching. We did another video a few years ago, and this is these Jiffy greenhouse things. It's kind of an all-in-one kit.
And it is easy. I mean, it has you don't have to have extra soil and that kind of stuff. It has the little things in there, and you can, you put water in there and they kind of expand, and then you plant your seeds in those things. So it is, it's kind of simple and easy. And if you don't, plant a garden a lot, or you're not planting a lot of things and you just want to start some seeds, one of these is really it really is great.
Yeah.
To use one of those. And you can find these kits. You can order them, or you can find them at any store.
Yeah, we've got links on our videos, but you can also, they're really popular in the stores. But if you're looking at a way to start planting seeds, this might be a good way to do it, is this Jiffy greenhouse mix, greenhouse kit. You know, it's got kind of everything you
It's even
need
got
in it.
vitamins in there if you want to
Yeah,
add
I
that.
didn't use the vitamins because I normally don't anyway, but I don't think they would hurt. But it's good for people that maybe for a first time
Yeah.
would like to start planting seeds inside.
And even has a little thing on the back where if you want to like plan it out what you're putting in each little seed tray, you'll know. And it comes with some like markers so you can write on what you planted in the trays.
Yeah, and it's very important to mark what you've put in the
or
trays.
you forget. Sometimes they come up, they kind of look the same, or if you're planting different types of tomato seeds, you kind of want to know which tomato you planted.
That's where you get in trouble if you don't like do the types. And I noticed the tomatoes came up.
But it was old seeds.
Yeah, it was old seeds. I'm not sure. I think these may have been the old seeds. It was last year's old seeds on here, I think.
The cucumbers and tomatoes,
The
right?
cucumbers may have been last year's also. I did some Boston picklers. I'm going to see if I can. It's really early to plant seeds inside because we're going to probably end up having to put a few of them in a bucket in the greenhouse. But I'm going to try it and see what we can do.
Yeah, I
and
think
see if
that'll
I
be
can
interesting.
have an early tomato.
That'll be neat.
Yeah.
If we get could we get a tomato in March?
Right.
Maybe.
So if you're just joining us, we are in central Mississippi and in Dothan, Alabama, where one of the places I work at, they are getting snow. So, that's what it looks like right now. That's actually a live camera going on right now.
That's so neat that it's snowing down there.
Yeah. So I guess it hadn't really covered the roads yet, but that's the driveway that you could see. So, it's still coming down.
Yeah. That's neat.
Yeah. They're getting a little snow right now, but
I guess the kids down there are going to be really excited about the snow.
Yeah.
They some of them probably have never seen snow.
Yeah. Well, that probably not.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been down there a lot, but
Yeah.
a long time. But that is a live camera down there in Dothan, Alabama. So, I think is the temperature about the same here? It's cold
I don't
here.
know. It's 20. Is it still 21?
And
It was 21
I guess
earlier.
it's I wonder if it's snowing down on the beach.
I don't know. We need to look that up. That would let us know if anybody knows if it's snowing down on the beach in the comments.
Yeah, that's really weird too. I know up around the Great Lakes beaches, they get snow up there a lot, but down here in the Florida beaches, we don't really get snow.
No, it's very strange
Yeah.
to get snow. And even there in Dothan, it's so far south, they haven't seen snow in years.
Yeah.
So we've seen some, but it's been a couple of years, I think.
I do remember one time, this has been 20 something years ago. It snowed so bad here, I got stuck in town and we were without power for at least a week.
Yeah, bless me. Yeah, well, it was more of an ice storm. I
Yeah, it
think.
turned
Yeah.
into an ice storm.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it really gets bad here is the
ice.
The ice.
We'll have the ice storm. If you've never been through an ice storm, I know up north they don't have quite as many ice storms as we do, that come through, the central areas. But if it's an ice storm, it's
miserable.
terrible. It is. I mean, it rains, and then as the rain comes down, it's so cold that it freezes on the trees and on everything, and everything is just ice. You can kind of handle snow sometimes, but when it becomes that icy,
it starts
stuff.
weighing these branches down on the pine trees,
Yes,
and then
and
the
they
pine
all
trees
break,
start breaking, and
they're all in the road. The roads are icy. You can't go anywhere or do anything. You have to really be prepared if you go through an ice storm.
yeah, it is bad. So,
Yeah.
but what we're doing here, we just got our new shipment in from Baker's Creek. I've got another one from Burpee. I'm going to set these sides so I don't get them mixed up.
Okay.
These are last year's seeds.
And our cat Missiles decided to join us
Yeah,
today. He wants to be part of the talk about the garden. He actually likes to eat. He tries to, if he goes, he used to eat the seeds. Like we would plant the seeds and he would go
Yeah, he would
eat the little
them.
plants. And I think one time he took out all of your plants that you had planted. We didn't know that he would just like go eat them. So he got up on the little shelf thing and decided to to eat the plants.
Yeah. So, we're going over what we ordered from Baker Creek. Baker Creek sells heirlooms. They're not a sponsor of here. If they want to be, they can look me up. But I've ordered from them several years, and I've had really good luck for it.
They're really, really quick. Like if you order from them, the seeds usually get here really quick. From Baker's Creek, I think you ordered those and they came like 3 days
I did
later.
pay for the extra shipping because when it gets sent by the post office here, for some reason, it just things
it
may
gets
make
lost.
it and they may not make it. So I did pay for that to be extra. We've got one of the things that I really like to do is the Boston picklers. I've got 2 packages of that. And the reason that we do those is I like to do dill pickles. And let's see if it's a little out of focus. But like here, these are smaller cucumbers and they seem to do better on the dill pickles. And I didn't make dill pickles last year. We
really missed them.
Yeah, we missed them. She made sweet pickles, and making the sweet pickles, just the regular cucumbers are fine because we slice those up.
Yeah.
But the dill pickles, I like to use these.
Especially like if you're going to use a whole pickle. They're kind of small, and you can do the whole dill pickle, and you can slice them up and do the dill pickles, but when they're small like that, you can do the kind of small ones and do the whole dill pickles, which is what a lot of people love to eat, is the whole dill pickles.
I like those.
Or the spears. You cut them up and do the spears, and
the spears don't seem to last as long, I don't think.
Yeah,
I think they get too soggy.
Yeah, the whole ones will last a whole lot longer. So if we can grow some of these and get enough smaller whole ones, I think that they'll last longer when you put them in the jars and can them.
Yeah.
If you do dill pickles, they don't last quite as long as the sweet pickles do, because sweet pickles, you put them in lime. But we actually have a video for that about the sweet pickles, about making those, and it really is a process. But sweet pickles, when I grew up, my grandmother made sweet pickles all the time. It's a whole process. I mean, it takes a few days.
I didn't know she made them.
Yes, she did. She did. My grandmother made those homemade pickles, and there's nothing like, you call them grandma's homemade pickles. There's nothing like them. Like, you can't buy those in the store.
No, you can't. We've got friends that just, they love those sweet pickles.
They do. We have a friend.
Can you even buy a sweet pickle in the store?
No, that's what I'm saying. You can't. You can buy sweet pickles in the store, but they taste nothing like a grandma homemade sweet pickle. Like, there's nothing like them. You just can't buy those in the store. You would have to go to a Homestead or somewhere to get them. You can't get them. They just don't taste anything like them.
Yeah.
And if you've never had one, they're just, I don't know, kind of unique, I guess. They're really sweet, and they're kind of have a strong, sweet flavor. You put the pickling spice and all that in there. They're really, really good, and you have to soak them in lime and all that stuff. It takes like 3 or 4 days, and when they turn out, they'll actually keep for a couple of years, in the cabinet, as opposed to the dill pickles. The dill pickles will only last about a year. They need to be eaten if you're making dill pickles. But sweet pickles is what, I like the sweet pickles.
Now, sweet pickles are really good in tuna fish.
And tuna fish, any kind of salad, they're good in like a potato salad. When you make those homemade grandma sweet pickles, they're good in any kind of salad. Egg salad, potato salad, tuna fish salad, chicken salad, anything like that. They're really good, and they just kind of give it a sweet flavor, I guess. You know, a lot of people when they make their chicken salad, they put something sweet in there, like a grape or a raisin or a cranberry or something. And if you'll add some of these sweet pickles, it's really, really good.
Yeah. So.
And what else do we got?
We've got y'all's favorite is the Abe Lincoln tomatoes. We do a hybrid, but these are the heirlooms that we plant is the Abe Lincoln tomatoes.
And they get huge. Like really huge.
Do these get real big?
Yes, those they're like huge.
But they love
really
these
good.
things, and they say that they have a really good taste. We do plant the hybrids because the hybrids seem to grow a lot. They grow better down here.
And when you do the Abe Lincolns, the plant doesn't seem to produce as many tomatoes as, like a hybrid would. But they are so good. They are just delicious, and they get really, really big, and they have just such a flavor that's amazing to me. To eat that Abe Lincoln tomato.
Yeah. So if you're looking for stuff to try, one of the easiest things to grow is the tomato. Mm-hmm. If you like tomatoes, and if you've never had a garden tomato, which again I don't really eat them, but y'all say that our kids won't even eat a store-bought tomato.
No, they won't. We had bought some tomatoes, and my daughter came in here, and she's like, "Where did those tomatoes come from?" I said, "Well, from the store." She said, "Oh." Yeah. She said she thought I had gotten them. I don't know where she thought I would have gotten them from because, you can't really get.
Yeah, they're not growing
tomatoes.
yet.
Yeah.
But we're going to plant these, and what I'll do here is these start 6 to 10 weeks before the last frost date. And I was going to talk about that too, because the last frost date is something you need to look for when you're planting indoors. Else? We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I got some dill. This is a hit and miss with me, but but you have to time the dill out so it's
comes when you're ready to do the pickles.
Yeah, when it's ready for that. So we're going to try to plant some dill to be able to put in the dill pickles.
And maybe we need to do a science to that, like see how long it takes for these to get ready and see how long the cucumbers take and try to coincide the growing season with that. So we'll have the dill when we get ready to do the dill pickles.
And here's the problem with me on the dill pickles is I've got to have a bunch of cucumbers ready at the right time. So I don't know, all the raised beds may be cucumbers at first.
We don't want to do like one cucumber at a time or just a jar of cucumbers at a time.
So you got to have all those ready
at
the same time. And, I need at least 3 times what we had last year.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I did plant last year. And, you do have to get them, you got to get them all at one time within a few days. But I've got some dill to put in the dill pickles. And some broccoli. I'm going to try broccoli.
We tried it one year, and I don't think it did really well. And when you grow broccoli, like on the farm, it just doesn't look like. Let's use missile.
Missile.
So it doesn't look like the broccoli like you buy in the stores. It kind of looks different. Missile, you don't need broccoli. You're not eating broccoli. I guess he can smell. Maybe you can smell that. I don't know what he's seeing. He wants to plant something. He just wants to be in the middle of everything.
Yeah, but he wants to be on the video.
The broccoli does not look like the broccoli that you get in the stores. So if you're thinking about planting broccoli, just know that it's not going to look like what you get from the store, like the big bunches of broccoli. And I don't know how they grow that. I mean, I don't know what type of broccoli that is that you buy from the store.
Yeah, there were different types.
Yeah.
I'm sure what we get from the store is some kind of hybrid.
It probably is.
This is not a hybrid.
Yeah.
The ones at the store, I'm sure, are some special thing.
Yeah.
All right. Of course, we got zinnias to kind of attract the bees for pollination. We got some zinnias we'll plant in the garden.
And one thing, if you're thinking about growing a garden or even outside, on a balcony or something, just a few things, it's a good idea to have you some kind of flowers out, blooming flowers out there to attract the bees because they do pollinate, and help, it helps the plant a lot when you have some bees around so they can help pollinate, whatever. If you have a big garden and you're doing corn, the bees really work with that because they take the corn and they pollinate it. And so that's just a good idea to have you some flowers, some blooming flowers if you're having any type of garden. They just help with the bee situation.
So I think that was a trick from the old timers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a trick from the old timers.
Plant that to attract the bees and get the pollination right.
Yeah.
So another thing, we always buy strawberry plants, and I just thought I would try some strawberry seeds
to see if we can grow them. And strawberry seeds are so small. You're probably going to have to pick them up with a something small or something to plant them because you can't hardly even see them.
Yeah.
They're really, really small, but I think that'll be fun to try to plant the strawberries and see if they'll grow.
Yeah, and then start because they'll come back, won't they? Or
yeah, there's supposedly I don't know if it's a certain kind that you have to get, but most strawberries come back. And I mean, there's some things that you have to do at the end of summer to kind of keep them from dying out, but they will come back. So, and they're kind of a spring, fruit. So
well, it says start indoors 4 to 8 weeks prior to the last frost.
Yeah.
I should have ordered another thing of seeds on these because these are only 25 seeds, but I would like to start a strawberry bed.
Yeah. I think that would be neat. Strawberries are great.
Yeah, I love strawberries.
What is it? What are you reading on there?
So it's when you plant these, the one of the things is you plant the seeds usually as deep, twice as wide
as the seed.
That's how deep you decide to go. And these are little bitty, and you just lightly cover it with soil. And it says don't allow the soil to dry out.
You know what's so interesting to me about seeds in general is that you can get a plant from those seeds and fruit and stuff. And a lot of these seeds are so small, like the tomato seeds and these strawberry seeds, that you can grow those little bitty seed and it produces a plant, and then you have your fruit or your vegetable or whatever. And to me, I mean, it is amazing to think that a plant comes from these little bitty seeds.
Yeah.
What else you got over there? So Baker Creek does this thing where they'll send you free seeds. So however many you order, they'll send you 1 or 2 free seeds. So they sent us some.
This is a tomato. It's called Alice's Dream.
And they look like maybe an orange color. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll plant those.
It's a beefsteak tomato.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the Abe Lincolns are beefsteak tomatoes. They're kind of, and beefsteak just means big. It gets big.
You sure that's what that means?
I think it is.
I think it's talking about the variety of it.
I don't know, but beefsteak.
This doesn't say these are beefsteaks.
Okay.
Golden yellow. We'll try this. This is a different tomato. I've never kind
heard
of
of
a yellowish orange tomato.
Yeah, I've never heard of a Alice's Dream tomato.
Yeah, but we'll have to plant one of those
and see what it does.
And I think we're going to try to save the seeds this year. And since we're going to plant several varieties close to each other, what we'll probably do we'll plant one way off several hundred feet from the other ones.
So it doesn't get mixed up.
Yeah, so it doesn't get mixed up. And then we'll save those seeds. We'll probably, I don't know, we may plant a few in the main garden or something, but just so we can replant the Abe Lincoln seeds. Now, can't do that with your hybrid
What
seeds.
is our other free seed?
And the other one, I'm glad they sent this because I think we've got some lettuce from another
company,
but this is Landis winter lettuce. And
if you have ever planted lettuce, you do want to grow the lettuce in the early spring, and it actually does, at least down here in the South. You probably can do some lettuce, or late fall also.
Yeah.
And early spring. And lettuce doesn't seem to do real well in the summertime unless it's in a shady area. So if you're growing lettuce, you want to plant it early and have it come up early.
So this is what I like about that. It's a variety of a descendant of a now extinct 1700s variety called white tennis ball.
Huh.
So these, a lot of these heirlooms come from really old varieties of seeds, and it's
Baker Creek's known for that. They have those type of seeds where you can go replant them. So that's really neat. Maybe we should try to replant these. Save the seeds for them.
Where's the lettuce seeds at in a lettuce?
Well, you have to wait till they get old and they shoot up a stem or whatever, and then it has the seeds on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've ever really got to that point with our lettuce that we let it get that old, but it shoots a little stem, or the ones I've seen shoots a little stem up and it has the lettuce seeds on it.
So we've got those, and that's it from Baker's Creek. I've got some other stuff I've got coming from another company. I've got the Better Boy tomatoes. That's what you buy in the store here. Or that's what the plants you buy in the store. Mm-hmm. That's very popular. Is the Better Boys. They grow good. They grow a lot of them.
Good, and they grow a lot. And then didn't you order the cherry tomatoes?
I ordered the cherry tomatoes. They grow, I think, about like 12 of them on a little.
On a stem. And we like to put those in the salad.
Those are good salad tomatoes.
Yeah.
So those will be coming. I don't know what else I'd ordered.
Well, we'll have to wait and see when it gets here.
I did order watermelons, and I'm really bad at growing watermelons. Really, really bad. Like, we've never had a watermelon that I've grew. And I'm going to try to grow watermelon again. I'm gonna try to do it in the planters again.
Yeah. So I hope that'll turn out well for you.
Yeah. And we're going to do videos on it. It'll be more of a video, not a how to grow a watermelon. It'll be more of
Can you grow it? Yeah.
You show me how to.
Yeah, tell me.
So hopefully if we throw it out there, people will, tell us what we're doing wrong on it. But if you're just joining us, we're in Mississippi, central Mississippi, but South Mississippi and South Alabama got some snow last night. And this is what it looks like on a live camera. This is one of a place that I worked out in Dothan, Alabama. It looks like this starting to clear up down there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. There's a bird.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all just saw that. There's a bird on there, too.
But I guess that's all the snow they're going to get is right there, because it looks like the clouds starting to move up. And it looks like it's going to be clearing, but they got a little snow to look at today, make some pictures, and have a little fun. It's
that's interesting.
Yeah, and we got I gotta refresh it. Sorry,
we lost the feed for it. So so we'd love to hear in the comments below if you're down to the south, if you got any snow or anything. We'd love to hear about that.
Yeah.
And here comes Missile. He's back visiting with us. I guess y'all are still looking at the snow.
Yeah.
Missile's
good at knocking things over too. Yeah. But yeah, this is can't wait to talk to them tomorrow to see if they enjoyed the snow. But
it'll probably be gone by tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be really cold here today, though.
What's the high today? Will it melt?
38 or something.
38. Yeah. I wonder what the high is. This'll.
Yeah. Our cat is causing issues. He's distracting what we're saying. But the high here is like 38. Is what I read
for today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we may not do a lot of outdoor stuff. I want to get out and do some outdoor stuff, but it's
sometimes sometimes though, when it's sunny like it is today, even if it is 38, it does seem a little bit warmer because the sun's shining so bright.
The
So,
cold doesn't bother me. It's just this. We got some rain, and everything I need to do has to do with dirt,
and it's wet.
and it's wet. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, I did clean the greenhouse out. We've got on sale, we got a Harbor Freight greenhouse, and we'll do some stuff in it pretty soon. And then we also have we'll start growing stuff there, and we've got some planters that we're going to put together, but
yeah.
I don't have a flat place to put them on, so I'm going to have to do
Improvise.
a little dirt work.
Yeah.
And the dirt is real muddy right now, so that's going to be a little
A problem.
Yeah, I've got to wait till that dries out. So I was hoping it would go ahead and dry out so we could get
But
that done.
it doesn't look that way because I think it's supposed to rain towards the end of the week and maybe next weekend.
So that project, it needs to happen pretty soon. But
Yeah, and then even with us, our another project we have is moving the fence for the chicken pen, and we actually need to use the tractor on some of that because
now that wouldn't. I mean, we could probably do that.
yeah,
in the
but you got to
dirt,
pull all those
the mud.
posts up, and we don't want to do that by hand.
Well, no, the tractor could get into it.
Okay, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay, so
There's grass. I mean, there's grass where the tractor would
well,
probably
we
go.
may wind up having to move the fence before we do the raised garden beds.
Yeah.
And we do still have some time on the raised garden beds. It's it's not as pushing, but if it keeps raining like it is, I don't know what we'll do because they really need to be there, so we'll be able to plant in them by the mid-April.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have some time. So we'll just have to try to plan when there is a week of dry.
Yeah,
So-
we're in zone 8. And what, for those of you that are not sure about this, what you do is you pick your if you're starting seeds indoors, you kind of have to back time. Like if you're doing tomatoes, let me find the tomatoes. You kind of have to
You have to choose the
plan
right
backwards
dates.
in a way.
Yeah,
So-
and what we do, or what he does, because he does that and I don't, but he actually makes like a calendar or looks on the calendar, and we have like a physical calendar that we print out or that we buy, and puts the dates on there as to when he needs to plant those and when they will be ready. And if you'll do that, like get you a calendar and write it down, when they need to be planted and when when they'll sprout and when they can go outside, that will help you if you're planning on having a garden or even growing something, outside in a bucket. If you would, just kind of look that up for your zone. I think you can Google what zone you're in and when those plants can be planted. So he's kind of looking that up. But, tomatoes, what does it say? How long does it take for germination?
You want to plant them 6 to 8 weeks. So what we would do on here, we want it planted indoors. Our last frost date here is going to be
here it
roughly
says.
around April 1st.
So
And
yeah, so this
that's in zone 8.
Yeah. So if you buy seeds, on the side of them, it shows you all the information that you need. So like on these Abe Lincoln tomatoes, it says it sprouts in 7 to 14 days. Its ideal temperature is 75 to 95, and it even tells you your seed depth, how far to plant it in plant spacing. It tells you how much sun it needs. So just know that, like, if you're buying seeds to plant, it usually tells you all the information that you need on here. So, people think it's hard to plant, seeds sometimes, but it's really not. If you follow the directions and do it like it says and make sure, you're careful with them, you can usually plant those seeds and they'll come up.
Yeah, so like the tomatoes, we start them inside and we plant them. They're on heat mats. The trays are on heat mats, and that's to keep it a little warm while it's growing. You can
While it's
also do
germinating.
it. You could, if your refrigerator is warm on the top, you could do that. But I noticed our refrigerator is not very warm on the top, but you plant them 6 to 10 weeks before the last frost date. So if we waited till 6 weeks before the last frost date here would roughly be around April the 1st, and that's in zone 8. So we would kind of back time that, and February 18th would be when we would plant these inside. And then you don't want it, if you get a plant too big, which it's not going to hurt too much on tomatoes, but other things, because the tomatoes, if they're too big, you just plant them further in the ground. And it's kind of neat the way a tomato works. You plant them in the ground real deep because they'll start roots off of their stem. So it's real easy to plant them. So you're not going to get in too much trouble if you plant them too far, but you don't want huge plants.
Because
like if you started right now, your plants are going to be pretty big.
Yeah, and you won't have anywhere to put them.
Yeah. And they will be a little harder to transplant. They'll get rooty and stuff like that. And so you do want to learn your last frost date. The last frost date for zone 9, which is down in Florida, Texas, California, theirs is February 1st through the 15th, around in that area. So
you could start seeds really early.
Yeah, you could actually probably start them now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But if you of course, zone 8, the last frost is March 15th to April 1st, roughly. Zone 7, which is north of us, which is Tennessee, North Carolina, in that area, the last frost date is actually April 15th. And then go on north, zone 5 and 6, the last frost date is May 1st through May 15th. So the further up you go, of course, the last frost date's going to be a little.
And I guess the further north you are, you need to think about whether or not, to have more of a greenhouse type place where you can grow, your seeds early. And also you want to grow some plants that grow faster. You don't want to grow, slow growing things that.
So it would, I guess in some way up north, it'd be a little harder to grow like corn, I think, or something like that takes a long time. But I'm sure you could do it, but you have to hit it just, it's here in Mississippi, we have a long garden season.
We really do.
And you can actually, like the peas.
We can plant those twice.
Yeah, we can plant them twice. But you have to kind of learn your area. You could do it, plant them in so many different areas. You just have to learn what grows and when to grow it up there.
We would love to know in the comments below, like if you have a garden and you're up north, what do you grow in your garden? Or if you're, from, a different country, we would love to know in the comments where, you're growing, what you're growing in your zone or wherever you live.
Yeah.
So, I think, I like that we have a long growing season and we're able to plant, all the different things really.
Yeah. And
I feel like in our area, we have such a variety, options that we can plant and grow. And, it's really neat that we can plant those, many, many different things. I mean, I guess the only thing is like tropical fruit, that we doesn't do well here. Like oranges or whatever that they have to plant in Florida and Southern California. But most everything we can plant here.
Yeah, we can plant a lot here.
Yeah, it does really good.
But like orange trees and stuff like that, I don't think grows good here.
No, the citrus fruits.
One of the biggest mistakes you can make in planting seeds or planting anything out in the garden is actually putting it out too early, because every year you think, okay, well, the cold weather is gone. Well, you get out there and you put the seed in, and it's, then all of a sudden it turns in, it's good weather for a week, and then it never fails. It'll freeze, and, that'll throw you off too. So So you have to watch out for that. But just had to change something. But anyway, that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make is planting too early. And you also want to make sure when you plant, you wait until that ground is kind of warm, because the peas here, we want to wait until they're a little, the ground needs to be a little warmer for that, or they won't grow as good.
Yeah.
The corn, when we plant it actually does. When we planted, I wish I knew exactly when we planted it.
It done really well when we planted it, and I think it was pretty early. It may have been
early, and
it may have been March.
Yeah, it was early because I think we planted early because the stalks doesn't. If you plant them too early, they don't grow as tall. But for some reason, the bugs were not as bad, and we didn't have as many bugs in it and worms. So, we're going to plant. It'll probably be the first thing next. I think potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes, and then because if you're planting a seed or anything like that in the ground, you can plant it before that frost date, but you need to just make sure if you're planting it outdoors.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you time it to where it's not going to come up before that frost date.
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of try to do. Because if it frosts or freezes, that little plant's going to be gone. It takes potatoes a little while to sprout. And so, that's one reason you plant them earlier, because it takes them just a little while to sprout out of the ground.
And we did learn when you're doing potatoes, as soon as the vine starts dying, you got to harvest those, or you'll lose those things.
Yeah. It's like they get lost in the ground. You can't.
Unless you're in have them in a planter.
Yeah, or raised garden bed.
Raised garden bed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope eventually we'll have most of our stuff in raised garden beds. We're going to put
that'll be neat.
At least 3, maybe 4 raised garden beds out this year. A lot of them's going to be cucumbers.
Yeah, another thing is if you're doing a raised garden bed, if you have the option of planting those close to a water source, you want to make sure you do that. So one of our goals is we're going to build the raised garden beds down by the pond. So that way we'll be able to water the plants from the pond. And, I hear that pond water has so much nutrients in it that it's a lot better for the plants. And even, rain in general is better for the plants than, like city water or whatever. And even
without all those chemicals in it.
Yeah. So, that's one of our goals.
And we got to do something about that. We've got to figure out how we're going to pump the water up.
Yeah. And I guess you can siphon it and a water hose or whatever.
I think we're going to need a pump.
You think we need a pump?
Yeah. Okay. To go up that hill. But we got to think about that.
Well, even if they're close enough, I mean, we can take a bucket and dip it in the pond and then, then water it if we have to.
I've done that before. I used to do that with the tomatoes because just to get them some fresher water.
Yeah.
I would
haul the buckets.
I would go down there on the 4-wheeler, get some buckets and
it'll be easier if we do that. I mean, even if we can't get something like a pump or whatever, the first year we can at least get some buckets and get that pond water and water the tomatoes.
Yeah.
And, speaking of that, isn't it good to use fish bones or something? I mean, I've heard of that.
I've heard that, I remember learning in school that the Indians used fish for fertilizer.
Okay. But, we use the chicken droppings and all of their stuff for our fertilizer. And we've actually been taking that, I cleaned the chicken pen out and he's actually taken all of that and put it in the garden to fertilize it, over the winter. And then when he goes out there and plows, gets all that plowed into the ground, it'll make the soil so much richer. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people, when I grew up, we got cow patties.
Yeah, actually, I was wondering. I think I told you there. You don't have. Used to, there were people everywhere with cows. There's not as many people with cows, but down the road there is a pasture.
And we've thought about just saying, "Hey, can we go?
Yeah,
can we go
I
pick
remember.
up your cow patties?" He'll probably think we're crazy because that's something that not a lot of people do anymore. Is just you just buy the fertilizer.
You do have to know what the cows were fed, though.
Yeah,
I think,
you do,
because there's certain things you want to make sure they were not fed before you get it. But,
okay.
But
years ago, you didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, years ago, we would just, I remember somebody, going around the pickup truck, driving through the pasture and just get a flat shovel and shovel it up.
The neighbor down here had cows when we were real little, and we didn't when I was really small. Yeah. And we would go down there and we would have buckets, just picking up the cow. Did cows.
You really?
Yeah, the
Where?
cow patties. Down there in James's pasture.
Oh.
They had cows.
We would go in the pasture at my grandfather's and shovel it up. And he had the most beautiful compost pile.
I mean, it sounds kind of nasty, but cows only eat grass. It's not like they eat meat and that kind of stuff. So, when that incorporates back into your garden, it just fertilizes.
Well, actually, we buy, and that's part of what I plant the tomatoes in. You buy black cow manure.
Yeah, you can buy it. So I guess it's the same thing,
Yeah, so it's,
and it's natural, when you buy stuff from the store, all their stuff is artificial. They probably plant with a bunch of artificial fertilizers and stuff. And that's part of why we like to plant our own stuff, because we know what's in it. And it's a lot better to have natural than these fertilizers that they even spray, on the plants and stuff. I think it's 10 times better. So, talking about the black cow and the fertilizer and stuff, it's a lot better, in my opinion, to have it natural.
Oh, yeah. And now, one thing about the black cow manure, it is clean. You have, because I think one of the problems is if there's weeds in there, seeds for weeds, it'll make it worse. But, that I think it is cleaned and it doesn't have the weeds in it.
Okay.
It's one thing, but that stuff works really good growing tomatoes. I mix a little of it and a few other things and to get the soil right on the tomatoes. I'm really excited about doing that.
Doing the tomatoes?
Doing the whole garden.
Yeah.
I just can't wait. It's just, I'm cutting back at work, but the problem is that's towards the end of the garden or middle of garden season, I guess. So I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait. But, getting out in the garden and, seeing what we can grow. We're going to can. Here's some, some stuff we have canned, which these are actually pickles right here. But I'm looking forward to canning some stuff.
Yeah, there's pickles and what?
We're kind of running out of canned stuff because it's been 2 years since we.
Yeah.
Well, now she's done this jelly.
So someone last year gave us a bunch of blueberries, and I did a bunch of blueberry jelly, and then we have the scuppernug plants. There's a grape. It's a type of grape. And we have those, and I did those, but I don't think I did those last year. But if you do jelly, your jellies will last 2 or 3 years. You don't want to eat them older than that. But once you put them in the jars and seal them up, it has the preservatives in there also, because, your sugar is a preservative, just like salt is. And so your jellies will keep for quite a while. And I think this one is blueberry. It's really fun to me to can all of that stuff.
I think we need some more jars, don't you?
I don't know. I keep reusing my jars.
I know we can reuse, but I think we need some more jars.
So we may have to buy some more jars this year.
I know you
one
tell me
thing
we
that
have too many, but I don't think we have too many.
One thing that I have to do every year, though, when I make the jelly, you do have to buy pectin, because pectin does get old, because pectin is your preservative for your jellies. So I
Yeah.
do have to buy pectin every year if I'm making jelly.
Yeah. And so is this jelly is actually made from fruits? Is that
Yes,
right?
that one's the scuppernug.
And the reason I was asking is she makes, if you can get 100% fruit juice, you can actually make your own jelly.
Yeah, so that's one thing you can do, but those are actually from the fruit. You just
Yeah, I don't know if you could see it, but that's great.
Now we have a few videos on our channel making jelly from grape juice and from the actual fruit.
Yeah.
So you can go look for those and watch those if you want to know how to make jelly. Jelly's one of the simplest things that you can do, especially if you're doing it from the fruit juice.
That's probably the perfect beginner's canning lesson, is to start with fruit
With the jelly,
juice.
yeah, just fruit
Because
juice.
it's really simple, and you feel like you've really done something because you get jelly
And
from
one
that.
of our friends loves the jelly. He's an older guy, but he says that he eats peanut butter and jelly sandwiches
Yeah.
almost every day for lunch. And
Is
so
that Jimmy?
Mr. Jimmy. So I give him, the jellies, and he's so excited. He's like, "Oh, it's for my peanut butter and jelly." And so he gets excited about the homemade.
Did you give him any scuppernug jelly? Or
I did, but that's kind of a couple of years old, so I hadn't gave it. But
we're scared to.
the blueberry,
We usually give it when it's fresh. We
Yeah.
don't really give any away
need
when it's
to-
older. And
I need to give
a
them
little
some
riskier.
blueberry. I actually need to probably be giving out the blueberry jelly from last year, so it can get eaten. I made like tons of it because there's so many berries.
Yeah.
You can freeze blueberries and use them for recipes or
Because
whatever.
we have some frozen, don't we?
Yeah, it's just that if you're freezing fruit, it needs to be used within 6 months or so, because fruit, you can't, you don't really cook it down or anything. You're just, wash it and you put it in the freezer, and it hadn't had anything in it to kind of preserve it. So it's kind of different from a vegetable. If you're freezing a vegetable, you're going to blanch it, which means that you put it in there and you cook it for, I don't know, 5 minutes, make sure that it boils for at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then you freeze it. So that kind of kills any germs that are in there. And with fruit, you can't really do that, unless you're making cooked apples or something like that. So just keep in mind, if you're freezing fruit, they need to be used within the 6 months, really.
So, and there's no really good way to keep tomatoes, is it? Without, I guess you can can them.
You can can them, but as far as getting a fresh tomato, which you slice and you eat on a sandwich, there's nothing that you can do to really preserve that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. I mean, you can cook the tomatoes and freeze them to use in recipes. You can put them in jars and can them. But as far as just having a fresh tomato, I guess there's no other way except in the summer to grow your own tomatoes and be able to, eat them that way during the summer.
Yeah.
And they just don't taste the same if you buy them from the grocery store. It's just,
They don't
have
look
a
the
taste.
same. They kind of look
They look
unnatural.
Yeah, they do look
They
unnatural.
they look like plastic fruit. Actually,
Yeah.
they look too perfect.
Right.
And
I mean, we bought
anybody
some.
that grows tomatoes knows that they don't look that perfect.
Yeah, we bought some peppers, and they just look.
Do you
So-
still have those?
Yes, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Let me go get them. So
But
we can
yeah,
talk.
they look like they're just they look fake, and she's going to get them, but while she's going there, if you're just joining us, south of us, we got some snow, and this is a live camera from Dothan, Alabama, one of our tower sites down there, or one of the place I work. It's the tower site there, and looks like it's starting to clear up down in Dothan, Alabama right now. So I think they got their little part of snow. It rarely ever snows down there. So, hope they have a fun day today doing that. But so, yeah, this tomato, how perfect it looks.
It doesn't look perfect when it comes out of the garden.
I don't know if
it
you
really
can
usually don't.
see in this camera. It's just, I don't think I've ever grown a tomato that looked that perfect. But they tell me it just does not taste the same.
And it doesn't. I mean, wherever you go and they put tomatoes, and look at these peppers. Like, these are just sweet peppers, but they look fake, like plastic almost. You know, it's just strange to me. I mean, they're just a variety
now,
of sweet
do
peppers.
they say where they came from?
Let me see. Hold on.
Because whoever's growing peppers right now is...
Well, they're distributed from Arizona. Bentonville,
That's
Arizona.
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
That's where Walmart's headquarters are.
Okay.
So it's just distributed there, but it doesn't tell you where it came from.
No, I don't. It does not.
I mean, they had to come from Mexico or somewhere to be...
Yeah.
I mean, unless they're growing them in a greenhouse. I don't...
Maybe they're... It says greenhouse grown
Oh.
right there. Mini sweet peppers distributed
Okay.
by Walmart.
That's how they get them so perfect, then,
Yeah.
is it's from a greenhouse. And I am going to try to grow a few things early in the greenhouse. Like
But
the tomatoes.
even if you grow them in the greenhouse, I just don't think they look fake like this. Product of Mexico.
Okay.
That's what it says.
Yeah. So they...
They must ship it to Arkansas, but it's from Mexico. It says product of Mexico.
Okay.
So it is from
So
Mexico.
it's grown in a, not only in Mexico, it's a greenhouse
in Mexico.
in Mexico. And I guess Mexico's really known for peppers anyway, but
Yeah, they are.
But it's getting to, like, in the United States, hardly anything is grown here anymore. It's so much, like, I went to a fish, it's a fast food fish place.
Okay.
All right. And, now this was several weeks ago, and now on the menu, they put if it's imported and put where it's imported from.
So
Everything
where was it
on
imported?
everything on the menu except catfish was imported from the Philippines, I think.
Really?
And I was thinking,
Now,
nothing
is that
against the Philippines, but they're a pretty long way away if you're carrying a fish.
Is that a new law or something that they have to put?
Maybe so, because I've noticed shrimp. We can't, we're one of the Gulf states, and shrimp's real popular down in the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America, whatever it's called now.
Whatever they named it now.
But the let's see, Joe said a lot of store-bought fruits and vegetables are picked way before they are ripe, then sprayed and bathed with ripening agent. Yeah. And you can tell that with the tomatoes. Thanks for chatting with us, Joe.
Yeah.
But
and an apple, y'all.
because
they put
you can
something.
say you need to keep this tomato and see how long it will last compared to a tomato that we have.
Yeah, and I know the apples are. I mean, you can see the stuff on them if you don't wash your apples. So,
Yeah.
It's a good idea to make sure you wash your apples before you eat them. Now a lot of
So
the
are
apples,
the peppers, do they have that same? I'm sure they
I'm
do.
sure they
Because,
do.
as much as they travel. but yeah, but anyway, talking about the imported stuff, I'm just wondering how much is imported, and it's nothing against the other countries. It's just
we want
you
it
think
to be
about
fresh.
that fish that comes over here.
It's frozen.
Well, they obviously don't fly it over.
No, they freeze
And,
it.
it's frozen, so it's on a ship for,
However long.
probably what's it take a month to get over here? I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
they
just
probably can fly it. I don't know how they do
yeah,
that.
but I don't think they fly it to Captain D's.
No, they don't
I
fly
mean,
it to
but-
Captain D's.
but-
They fly it
But
or
it's
send it to the,
everything's imported,
Yeah.
and it's like we have food here we can eat.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's another reason we like to do the garden is, like what Joe said about they're picked way before they're ripe.
And then
And is that why the taste is not
I
right?
think so. I mean, it has to be why the taste is not. I'm going to save these peppers too and see how long they last just sitting out.
Yeah.
It's no telling what's on those. I actually cut these peppers up and they say that chickens like peppers, and I actually cut these peppers up and tried it, feed it to the chickens, but they didn't really like it. And I'm wondering. I'm kind of wondering if it's because they put something on them. They just kind of turn their nose up at 'em.
Because I guess these tomatoes are actually picked green.
Yeah, and then they spray them with stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's
Joe said that's part of the reason the taste isn't the same, and that makes sense because if we wait till we want to pick it like a tomato at the right time to get that taste.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, they're so fake. They don't even look real almost, you know? And I wonder what type this is. Like, if it's a better boy or what it is.
I doubt it's a better boy.
It's a something.
Another reason is most produce has been selectively bred for generations for long keeping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, what we grow.
Tell me what your friend told you something about when they plant the fertilizer or however they do.
Oh, that's like up in North Mississippi, they plant when they plant the corn. I asked a guy, and he used to work he was a crop duster, and he said, I said, well, how in the world do they get so there's no weeds under it? Because I would like to know their trick. And, these are huge fields. And he said that the seeds that they plant are Roundup resistant. And so they, so they will spray them with that stuff. And I knew they sprayed them. So, they spray them with Roundup or something. So, but it doesn't kill the corn, but it kills
So it's like a specialty
the weed.
that kills just the weed and not the corn, and they spray it with that.
Joe said when you selectively breed for one thing, you lose something else. In this case, you lose the flavor.
Yeah, and I agree.
And to gain the shelf life.
Yeah,
I agree, and I
agree
think
with that.
And I'm sure they breed it to look perfect too, to look good and last a long, long time, because I'm sure that this tomato probably came from Mexico too. And it had to. They don't, we're not growing in the growing season here. So,
right.
But you lose the taste, and, their job is to sell these things, not to,
right.
taste.
To me, there's nothing like growing a fresh tomato. And I know now, Scott, he grows the tomatoes, but he doesn't like to eat the tomatoes. He doesn't like the taste, but he loves growing them. So, we're his testers whenever he grows the tomatoes, and it's nothing like, now, a lot of people, they don't peel their tomatoes when they eat them, but that was the way I was raised. Like, we peel the tomato and slice it up and just have a tomato sandwich. A tomato sandwich and maybe some mayonnaise.
Every one of my friends loves tomato sandwiches.
Yes, and that's what we eat down here. I don't know about y'all, but we eat tomato sandwiches. Like, just cut a tomato and put it on bread with some mayonnaise, maybe.
Everybody say hey to Missile.
Yeah, Missile's in the midst of everything today.
So you don't peel the tomato then, do you?
I do peel my tomatoes, but some people don't. They don't peel their tomatoes. To me, I just like the taste better when the peeling's not on there, and that's the way my grandpa did. So that's the way I do.
Did you taste one of those tomatoes?
No.
I thought you peeled one and ate it.
Did I peel one? Oh, I did, because I peeled one and I put it in the salad. Is what I did.
Okay.
I didn't make a tomato sandwich out of it because I didn't think that would be good. But I did peel one and I chopped it up and I ate it in a salad.
Yeah.
But not just by itself.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
Joe said tomato sandwich, tomato and cheese sandwich, BLT, fresh grown tomato, sliced on grilled burgers. Yeah, our family loves that.
Yes.
And my son, he will not eat a store-bought tomato, but he can't wait till we get the regular tomatoes so he can doesn't he put it on a
He puts
hamburger?
it on his hamburgers. He loves it on the
A
hamburgers.
slice on a
and
hamburger.
I do too. And we were talking about the sweet pickles earlier. When I grew up, there was nothing better than have a grown tomato, fresh grown tomato, and we would put sweet pickles on our burgers.
Well, there was one of the restaurants that started doing that.
Yeah.
I like sweet pickles on a burger.
Yeah, I think, but again, you can't get a sweet pickle from the store like you can grow at home, like you can make, like I can make. So to me, that is the best thing I've ever tasted in my life is a fresh tomato, the sweet pickles on a burger. That's just great to me. So
kind of making you anxious to get
is
started on the garden.
Hungry.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have a tomato sandwich.
Yeah, just a few more months and hopefully you'll be having one. And I'm going to grow that one in the green. We started some early to make a video out of and I'm going to, we weren't sure if we'd use the seeds. But
you're gonna grow.
I mean, if we weren't sure if we'd use the plants, but I'm gonna see how far I can get with them and maybe put them in the greenhouse.
Now,
and
were
see,
was those Abe Lincolns from last year that you planted?
Yes.
Is that what they were? Okay,
Yeah.
So we're gonna put those in the greenhouse.
Joe said, "Have you ever canned lime pickles?"
Yeah. So we were talking.
Yeah.
No. Now the pickles that I do, they are lime pickles, but they're sweet pickles.
Okay.
So
you do use lime, and I use a little lime in the ones that dill
do we
pickles.
have any of our sweet pickles, or is that the dill ones back there?
But they look like they're sliced like that.
Yes.
But these are dill right here. We do dill.
We do the dill pickles and slice them some, but we do the sweet pickles because I just love those.
Yeah, but she does use lime in them.
I do. It takes 3 to 4 days to do the sweet pickles.
Run down what you do on them.
Well, I can't remember exactly, but it's you have to soak them in lime for I think it's 12 to 24 hours. You rinse them, you rinse the lime off of them, then you soak them in ice water or cold water for so many hours.
In the refrigerator, right?
In the refrigerator, or put ice on them and put them in a cooler and set them somewhere. And when I do them, I do tons of them at one time, so I do use a cooler.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you soak them in the ice water, and then I think you have to rinse them again, put them in the refrigerator, and then you do your canning where you put the spice in there and all of that. What's he say?
He is third generation in his family to make lime pickles. Well, that's interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah. So are those sweet pickles? Is that Joe that's talking?
He uses a cooler too.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Are those considered sweet pickles?
The lime
Joe?
Pickles that you do,
The lime
Joe?
pickles?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, we love our pickles.
I especially like the pickles. I'll eat them just plain. And my dad and our friend, I'll give them a jar of sweet pickles. And I think our friend told us he had the last pickle. He would eat one pickle.
Yeah, he would go real slow on eating them because he didn't want to eat. And we need to make sure he gets a lot this year.
I need to give him some more. But he said that he was like out of pickles almost. He was saving the very last one. And my dad does the same thing, except my dad likes to eat the pickles on like butter beans, or like he uses them as almost I don't know, on top of them. He'll eat the pickles on top of his butter beans and his peas.
Yeah, he said they are sweet, but not the same as regular sweet pickles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. So
that is interesting.
we should try that sometime. But
Yeah, we'd love to.
So what you do, is that what your grandmother did?
Yes, that's what my grandmother did, and my mom would make them sometimes too. But
my mother made sweet pickles too.
Yes, she did. She does make sweet pickles,
or she did. She doesn't now.
Yeah, and the ones you use sugar, a lot of sugar on the sweet pickles that we make. also. It's sugar and, then the pickling spice, mainly to spice them up and make them taste good. So we use, all of that on ours.
Yeah. So old recipe, but looking forward to getting that. Usually at this time we have a lot left from last year, but we didn't do a garden this year. So we did
Last year.
Yeah, last year.
We're 2026.
So we didn't do a garden in 2025. So we're, kind of the cupboard is bare right now.
Yeah, it is. I have no more vegetables in the freezer. The only thing I have in there is maybe stuff I bought or deer meat. And we have deer meat. So
he said, think the reason they have a different flavor is the mixed pickling spices that goes in them. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, she does the sweet pickles. I do the dill pickles, and
he loves the dill pickles. I like the dill pickle, but it's like I have to be in the mood to eat a dill pickle. I can eat a sweet pickle.
I've never seen you eat a dill pickle.
I will. I'll eat one once in a blue moon, but I just don't care for dill pickles like I do sweet pickles.
I love dill pickles. I just
and our children like the dill pickles.
Yeah.
Too.
They all do.
Yeah, they all do.
But
Sarah, our daughter-in-law, really loves the dill pickles.
But I have found, and with the dill pickles, they really work really better for me with these Boston pickler cucumbers that we're going to plant. They're a little smaller and they're a little more crisp.
Yeah, and you can use the whole pickle.
Now, she uses the regular long cucumbers because she slices them. And that works good because all the sweet pickles, I don't guess you've ever done any full pickles for sweet.
No, not for sweet pickles. You have to slice them and use those because they're better on a sandwich or a burger or whatever. No, I've never used a whole pickle for a sweet pickle, but for dill pickles,
I'll just sit and eat dill pickle. I love those things.
And I guess growing up, I don't think we ever made dill pickles because I guess we just ate the sweet pickles.
My grandmother made them one time.
When you were growing up.
And I don't think my mother ever made sweet pickles. My mother really wasn't a cook.
She made sweet pickles, but not.
She didn't when we were young. She didn't do any of that. She made hamburger helper. That's it. and that's why we hated hamburger helper.
And y'all didn't have a garden or anything except from
at our house?
Yeah.
No, we didn't have a garden.
Okay. But your grandmother.
Daddy may have planted tomato plants.
Okay.
But I don't.
Your grandmother had the garden.
Yeah,
right?
she had the garden.
Granny.
I don't remember us plant. No, I'm pretty sure we didn't have a garden.
Okay.
Daddy played golf too much to have a garden.
But see, I didn't know the difference. Like, that's what we ate. We
had a
garden.
But see, in the summertime, I was at my grandmother's all the time.
So
she had
ate.
a garden. My other grandmother, even in the city, she had a garden.
Okay, I didn't know that she did.
She had a garden back there. And, so...
Well, grandparents used to just have a garden. That's what they did.
Yeah, they had a garden. They didn't know any other way. But
right.
Every one of my grandparents had a garden.
Yeah.
And I was always fascinated by it, and I would learn a lot from all of them.
From what they did. What'd you smell?
It's just they had such a beautiful garden, and I know they had, which all of them had really huge gardens. I mean,
we did.
Yeah.
Missile.
But I remember breaking beans, hulling peas, for hours at grandma. Yes, when we were kids. And that reminds me.
Like the purple hull peas, one thing when you're shelling those by hand, your fingers turn purple. Yeah, you have some purple fingers when you're through shelling those purple hull peas.
My grandfather had this pea sheller. Now this...
Oh, well, we didn't.
But no, this wasn't a pea sheller like you. This is one you'd lose your finger if you didn't.
Oh, okay.
This was not one of these safe ones you would probably order off Amazon or whatever. It had these two rolls. It was a homemade pea sheller.
Really?
Yeah, I guess it was homemade. It was... it worked, but you had to make sure your finger didn't get caught in the belt or something like that.
I didn't. We had to do them by hand, and it was like he said, pans of field peas,
purple
hull peas, shelling those, shelling the butter beans.
You'd be sitting on the front porch at grandmama's house, you know, just
Yeah.
shelling peas, butter beans, and
all of those things.
grandparents had pea shellers too. They were they were called grandkids. That's exactly right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, because they wouldn't let us use the pea sheller, but he would use it sometime, but most of the time it was us. We were the pea
shelling
yeah,
it,
we
yeah.
were the pea shellers.
Yeah.
We were the ones that would get the weeds out of the garden.
And I've said this before, but my grandpa would plant peanuts sometimes.
I would like to try that.
I think we should try that. I think I would really love, because we never tried that before.
I know nothing about planting peanuts though.
So we'll
but I
have to
would
do a
like
lot of research about planting a peanut.
Yeah. Missile.
Missile.
Okay. I don't know if we just went dark. Okay, we're there. You need to
You
get
want me to
him.
go get
yes,
him?
please.
Missile.
I'm sorry.
Our cat has issues.
Yeah. He but yeah, we used to I mean that was some good memories where, you know, when we were kids doing that, you know, shelling peas on the back porch and you know just that was some good family time too.
It was, and I think we've lost that. You know, when you're out on the front porch talking to your family, shelling peas in the summertime, there's nothing.
Nobody
like
was
that.
sitting here on the phone, you know, because
Yeah.
you had to shell your peas.
Right, and we didn't have phones then.
Yeah,
So, you know, it was a good family time.
yeah, it
And
was
I
a
think
great family time.
I think we've lost a lot of that, you know, with family and stuff, doing those type of things.
Yeah,
So, you know, if you're planning on doing a garden or whatever, you know, get out on the front porch with your kids, you know, with your family, shell some peas.
yeah. Our kids will. Well, no, actually, our daughter and daughter-in-law.
They'll shell the peas.
Yeah, the daughter-in-law is pregnant, so
Yeah, we'll have to make her some pickles.
Yeah.
You know, I hear that when you're pregnant that you crave pickles, so she'll probably really love the dill pickles this summer.
Joe said he's got a plan on growing peas for the first time this year. Got a surprise for the grandkids when they come out this summer. Yes.
Yeah.
I can't wait till our grandchild is born and
Old enough to
old
shell
enough
some
to
peas.
shell peas.
And
because-
help in the garden and stuff.
But now our son does not shell peas, but our daughter will.
And our daughter-in-law will.
Now our daughter's working a lot now, so I don't know if she'll have time. But the daughter-in-law, you know, she was planning on helping in the garden. She's not going to be able to when you know that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Although in the old days they got out there until
and they worked
till
anyway.
the day before
Right.
they had the baby. But anyway, I said, well, you can help me shell some peas. So,
Yeah.
so I'm excited about that. I can't wait to do, you know, because the big peas that we do is the purple hull peas.
Yeah.
And
we like to eat them too. They're really, really good.
the butter beans I'm looking forward to also.
Yeah. And, you know, we did the running butter beans the year before last, and they didn't do really good. So we're going to try the bush butter beans.
And
this
I don't
year.
know why they didn't, because when I was younger, the pole beans were all I knew.
Yeah.
Did you know anything else?
No, we had the running butter beans too, the pole butter beans.
Yeah.
But
That's all I
we
knew.
did do the bush butter beans one year here, and they did really, really well. The only problem is that you have to get down on the ground almost to pick them, and they're hard to find because they're green and they're just kind of buried in that green bush. But they did really well.
But I think we're going to do those this year so
Yeah.
we don't have to fool with the
Yeah, we'll just get on our
sticks.
little cart thing that has the wheels, and
Yeah.
I'll roll down there and pick them if I have to.
yeah. We're in our 50s, so it's not as
It is
as
hard
energetic,
to stoop down and pick those vegetables. You know, the purple hull peas are easy because they kind of grow out, and then you can just pick them by the bunches, and you can tell when they get ripe and stuff.
Yeah.
But you have those butter beans, you have to kind of dig down in those bushes to pick those butter beans.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I don't know. It's got me thinking about the garden this year, getting real
I'm so
excited.
excited.
I can't wait
too. I'm excited too.
And skipping a year was not. We shouldn't have skipped a year,
No,
I guess, but we had to because we had so many projects.
Right. We had too many projects going on, so we.
So again, what we're going to plant this year is in the big garden.
Purple whole peas. Well, let's go by. Okay, so we're gonna plant the potatoes.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna plant the corn, and then we are gonna plant probably the peas, the purple whole peas. Of course, we'll have our tomatoes going in there. We'll have a few peppers, squash, zucchini, and what
the squash will probably be in the raised bed.
Oh,
Joe said he's going to plant some bush beans in a raised bed.
Okay, well maybe we should try that.
Yeah.
The bush beans in a raised bed. It'll be easier to pick. We kind of have to bend over, and it's kind of hard on the back.
It's not that bad in the big garden for that. I mean, we
figure it
just
out.
don't. They're going to be a lot of the raised beds are going to have the cucumbers in, so we can do the pickles. Cucumbers. Yeah.
What else did we going to put in the raised bed? I forgot.
The raised bed, tomatoes especially. I want to put the tomatoes in there.
Yeah.
Tomatoes and cucumbers.
So what
and
we did,
probably maybe some squash. I don't know.
Yeah. So the squash does really well out in the regular garden. Though.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it a whole lot. And squash just does, in general,
you can
it grows
plant
good.
it anywhere.
Yeah. The onions, that's what we wanted to try in the raised bed.
So he did his raised beds with concrete blocks.
Okay.
So they're 3 blocks high.
Okay.
Yeah, there's somebody that goes to our church that did concrete blocks too, and I think they turned out good.
We actually ordered 2. We only have one raised garden bed right now, which he built and made out of wood. And then he has some wood that we're going to build a couple of raised beds.
Some I cut with the sawmill that we're going to it's just sitting there. So I know it won't last forever, but it won't last as long as the concrete ones.
Yeah. And then we ordered 2 raised beds just to see how they would do. So we've got to build those and get those together. But as he said earlier, it's been raining and it's hard to do some dirt work where we need to put those raised beds because it's not even, and he needs to kind of even it out a little bit more. Yeah. So it'll be easier to build those and put those there. So we're probably going to do the 2 that we ordered. They're just the metal raised beds. And then try to build at least 2 out of wood.
At least 2, probably 2 out of wood.
Yeah, for this year. And then as we go and as we, go along, we'll build some more or buy some more. And we want to eventually get to growing most everything out of the raised beds besides the corn and the peas, because the corn kind of has to have a big area. Which you could grow. I mean,
you could grow it in the raised beds.
Yeah,
it's just we have an area out there that works good for it, and it's not that bad with planting the corn in the big garden.
No, it's not. And corn is easy to pick. It's really easy to harvest and to pick once it gets ripe. And the only thing you have to worry about really with the corn is, you get the worms and the bugs sometimes.
Yeah. But our trick was plant it early last time, and
we didn't get as many bugs. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we need to wrap it up. We're going to head to church in a few minutes. So, but he's growing most of his things in raised beds, and that's what we're trying to transition to, is growing most of ours raised beds.
Yeah,
because we're getting older, and that bending down is not as fun.
It's not good for the back.
Yeah. So we're gonna,
but hopefully in a couple of years we'll have our grandchild, and we'll put them to work. Yeah. Put
a shovel
or something. Give them some hands to pick the right thing.
Yeah.
So he asked the other day, talking about grandchildren, how old will it be before it can actually run around and help a little bit? And I
in
said,
the garden,
I said, at least 2 or 3, it's not going to be able to run around the first couple of years.
Get a little shovel for it.
Yeah. So that's what, I think that'll be so neat to have the grandchild running around and get it a little shovel, rake and shovel and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We're excited.
We are very excited. So we're trying to do our live streams Thursday night, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make this.
We hope you can join us for some of those. On Thursday night, we just kind of are at the campfire. We talk about whatever, what homesteading.
Mostly mostly related to homesteading.
Yeah. Just what we've accomplished that week, and mostly, just old talk sometimes about old days and what we did on the land back then, and and just by the campfire, enjoying it at night on Thursday nights if it's not raining. And on Saturday mornings, we're out in the chicken pen if we can, talking about chickens and chicken stuff. I have 30 chickens, and they're just, some of them they're not laying eggs real well. Now, I don't have 30 hens, but I do have 30 chickens, and they're not laying eggs real well. So we've been kind of discussing that on Saturday morning and what we can do and stuff, just different subjects on chickens. And then here on Sunday morning, we're mostly talking about gardening and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Saturday chicken talk. Sunday morning, we're trying to talk about gardening. So really want to thank you, Joe. Thanks for chatting with us.
Yes,
Enjoyed it.
We love hearing the chats on there.
And we learn too. We learn from everybody.
And we want to know any ideas that anybody has about gardening or chickens or whatever.
Right.
We're not experts by any means, and we try to just be real, about what we talk about and the things that we're doing on the homestead, because you watch so many things now and it looks all easy and elaborated, and we don't want to be that way. This is real. I want to learn together how to do this homestead and how to grow things, and eventually maybe we'll get some more animals or something. But, we are real. We want to be real and not
make a lot of mistakes, and we'll tell you about the mistakes.
Yeah. And we'd like to hear, your mistakes and things, about your chickens or your garden or mistakes that you've made, and any ideas that anybody has that can help us with our garden or chickens or whatever. We'll take any advice.
And we're going to try to be outside on these live streams. It was
21 degrees
21 degrees, so we decided to hold off on being outside. But we are going to be outside a little more. I
think when we actually get our raised garden beds down behind us, that we can be out there
we could be out
on a
there
Sunday morning, especially in the summertime or in the spring.
We can get some work done while we're alive.
That's right.
Also. So
that's right.
But anyway, thanks for joining us. And our next live stream is going to be Thursday night. If you can't see that, hope to see you next weekend on the live streams. And thanks a lot for joining us, and hope you have a great day today.